Robert Kiyosaki put this out yesterday. Please be careful, which I think is true, guys, right? Everything can be volatile. Silver can be very volatile, no doubt. But he says silver is peaking. There will be a major pullback before it begins climbing again. I stand by what I'm doing. I buy silver all the way up to $100 and I wait. If and when silver crashes, I will be patient and wait till the silver market tells me what to do next. Okay. He says in orange, millions of silver speculators are selling as prices go up. The sellers will crash the silver market. Always remember Rich Dad's wisdom. Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. And then he brings up, besides, if you sell, you get paid in dollars. And what a great point, right? Like, I've never sold an ounce of silver. Have you ever sold silver? I mean, a lot of you have, and that's fine. That's great. But any ounce of silver that I've ever accumulated over the years, I've never sold. I look at it as generational wealth. And then I think, well, if I were to sell silver, what would I do with the money? Right. And we won't go too far down that path. But if you do sell silver, you may want to consider putting it into some other real asset, because if you sell it for paper dollars, if unless you're really good at timing the market and lucky, right, you're putting your money into something that's going down in value. So a lot of people say, if you sell silver, make sure you convert it into something real, like real estate or maybe oil or oil stocks or something, maybe gold, right? I'm planning on trading, that's what he says, my silver for gold. So he kind of gives us a warning, right? Talks about the silver price to protect ourselves. Man, it is getting crazy. What about China? Did we hit $100 silver in China overnight? We're moving fast, guys, because there's a lot of evidence for us to look at today. This one comes from Eric Young, King Kong 9888, super reliable and respected voice in the world of precious metals. He says, today's China Shanghai Futures Exchange silver price is at $99.28. I saw several people putting out info that it actually had hit 100, but nonetheless, here's the proof. And since we can't read Chinese, we're going to believe him. And there's the math where he gets it all broken down to down here at the bottom. The final result that in China on the Shanghai Futures Exchange, which is their futures market, the silver price is, we're just going to round up and say that it's at $1. Okay. So we've got news out of the CME. We've got news from China about crazy silver prices. What's happening here in the United States? What about those good old American Silver Eagle coins, like the favorite of Western investors? Let's see how demand is for those. This, I think, speaks volumes. This department investigating our old friend Jerome Powell. Right, I kept him in a box, and now they're talking about, I don't know if they're going to put him in jail, whatever. I don't want to speculate on that. But there's Jerome. Hey, that's a great idea. This is Jerome. He's been in a box. I put him in a box years ago. Those of you who've been around for a while, inside his box is his favorite thing to do. Right, print the old toilet paper money. But I put him in this box. Man, we haven't talked. This is critical. This is big. We haven't talked about this forever, okay? Oh, I got another super chat, Susie says. Oh, I do. Okay, I'll say thank you to that in a second. This is critical to understand. The reason why Jerome is in this box, which says do not open, right, is because of one of the most powerful forces that we are experiencing right now. And we talked about it years ago, and that is stagflation. He's in a box, literally, because that's what he's in. He's got a tough economy, an R for recession on one side, and on the other side, he has an I for inflation. Stagflation is the scariest situation in the world for the Fed. If you want to, like, even the rats will leave that fancy new Federal Reserve building that's being rehabbed in Washington. If you walk into the lobby of the Federal Reserve and yell, stagflation, they run, because there's nothing they can do. He literally is in a box, right? Because when you have a recession and you need to cut rates, which is what Trump's trying to force him to do, cut rates, cut rates. Trump's talking about 1% interest rates next year. If you do that in an environment where you already have big inflationary pressures, that makes inflation go through the roof. And so then you got inflation going through the roof. You got to deal with that, which is raise rates. But if you raise rates, that makes the economy go down. It becomes like a seesaw of doom. And that's what happened. The reason why it's so important, this is critical to understand, is because in the 1970s in the United States, that's what we had, was a stagflationary environment. And by the way,